What's going on, guys? Midwest Tokusatsu here, and we've got some more news for you this week coming from Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, Sentai, Ultraman, and also just like a little bit of extra news at the end. So first off, we got the Fan First Friday reveals from last week, and these figures we already kind of knew about from their Hasbro Pulse event, but now we have like solid images of everything now. So first they had the Power Rangers Lightning Collection In Space Red Ranger versus Astronomer 2-pack, and I gotta say, this is how you do a 2-pack right here, and I think I've said it before too. To have two crucial characters, preferably a Ranger and a villain, in a 2-pack like this, as opposed to, say, like Lost Galaxy Red and Psycho Red, where we got Psycho Red first, and then months down the line, they released that 5-pack with the Psychos. So, I'm definitely picking this one up. And then secondly, we have another 2-pack for the SPD B Squad Blue Ranger versus A Squad Blue Ranger 2-pack. So we also knew about this before as well. And also, I think I'll get this one too, because SPD is one of my priority teams, because I'm not sure if I plan on collecting every single figure from the Lightning Collection, but I do have my priority teams from, I believe, SPD, Lost Galaxy, Time Force, Dino Thunder, let's see, SPD, of course, just said that, and RPM. And now, I know I just said that I prefer like not to have Ranger and Ranger 2-packs, but I guess here is kind of an exception, because, by themselves, are the A Squad Rangers really going to sell that well? So, to put them in a 2-pack, I kind of don't mind this one, although they could have did it with Red too, so we'll see how they do that. So last but not least, we also have the new Monsters line, which we also heard about at Hasbro Pulse. And for this, we have King Sphinx and Pumpkin Rapper. Now, King Sphinx looks decent. Like, I've heard that he's had some missing paint decals on his wings, then his nose wasn't painted black, I believe. And then the same can be said for Pumpkin Rapper, where I think his eyes were unpainted too, but they both look decent. I think I'll definitely get King Sphinx, but Pumpkin Rapper, I'll kind of have to think about that one. Speaking of which, they also did this Fan First Friday on Halloween, so of course they made a couple of references to Pumpkin Rapper, as well as a lot of the so-called Halloween specials from the past recent years. It was really kind of cringe the way they did it. Like, they had this full-on list of the top 5 Halloween episodes of Power Rangers, where 90% of them were from the Neo Saban era, which that kind of delegitimizes it right there. And then number 1, of course, is MMPR. Like, they didn't even try with this list. Like, they couldn't have referenced maybe it came from Angel Grove. Like, that is an actual good Halloween episode, I think. I would have even settled for that one episode from Overdrive where they had that party at the end and Mac was dressed up as a robot. It's small, but it's there. Anyway, rant over. Moving on. So next up for the reveals, they also revealed some of the toys for next year's season, Dino Fury. And these, I think, look really good. So first up, you've got the 6-inch basic figures. So last year, the 6-inch Beast Morphers figures kind of set the standard for what Hasbro was going to be doing going forward. And these are really no different. Like, they seem to be in that same exact scale. The articulation seems to be the same. And apparently these come with original weapons, just like those did too. So I'm not quite sure how to feel about that. I'm wondering where their swords are. It's like that might be an issue. But other than that, these figures look really good. Like, the paint details look to be all there. Don't really see anything missing. And then they also have one villain figure on the side here, who I think his name is Boom Tower. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So next up, we've got the Dino Fury Morpher. Now, this one, the Morpher itself didn't really cause any problems, but the keys, the Usos that they come with, those are what have some of the fans a little bit on edge, because from the Japanese version, they kind of got rid of the flip gimmick and replaced it with just a flat, shiny sticker. I honestly didn't think they looked that bad. As long as the keys look to be of decent quality, they don't look really cheap. Like they look a hell of a lot better than the Ninja Stars from Ninja Steel, because those are just cheap ass Ava foam, and I literally bought nothing from Ninja Steel. That's how bad that was. This is a huge step up from that. Now, the Morpher itself, as far as sounds go, is what kind of has me a little iffy on it, because from the demo, it didn't really say much. It just had like generic sounds that reacted to the different keys. like I guess they kind of had a startup sound for when you morph, but then when you put Blue's key in there, it kind of had this like wibbly wobbly sound. I mean, it sounded a bit goofy, but hopefully like these are just prototype sound effects, so maybe down the line like they'll add more that like actually like make it function. So now we have what's called the battle attackers. Now these, I don't quite know what their scale is, but from what the designer said, they're based on the vinyl figures from Japan. So they kind of have like a more super deformed look. At least the Rangers do. The monsters look more average. So I mean, this is harmless. I mean, I think I'd be more inclined to get the monsters than the Rangers, because I mean, you don't really need these if you have the 6-inch figures, right? So the monsters might be the only thing that's worth it out of this set, at least in my book. Now, last but not least, which I am really excited for, we have the Zords. So appropriately, they're going to show off Red Zord first, and here they're calling it the T-Rex Champion Zord, which I think is a pretty clever name. Like, at least it's not anything generic like just T-Rex Zord, so anything extra they can give it, I'm with it. So looking at the prototype, the first thing you probably notice is just like the sheer amount of articulation this guy has. Just like with the Red Racer Zord from last year, he has both leg, I assume knee, and also arm articulation. And like, it just has like a lot of detail to it that they probably couldn't have missed, but still, like, it looks like it's going to be a really, really cool Zord line for next year. And then looking at the other four, these also look on point. I mean, I believe you have Triceratops, Saber-toothed Tiger, Ankylosaurus, and Stegosaurus. I forgot what they call these ones, but we'll know in the future. So that just about wraps it up for toy news. And they had one last bit of news towards the end where they officially announced who Dino Fury Green and Black would be. So Dino Fury Black is Chance Perez, and then Green is Tessa Rao, and apparently she's been recast from the previous actress who we thought she was going to be. But regardless, we have our first female Green Ranger, guys, so clap it up. It's about time. And on top of that, it's our first gender-bent Ranger since Wild Force. Just like to think, like, it's been that long since we actually gender-bent a Ranger. Now, there's been some, I don't think there's been controversy. Like, it's just been someone trying to, I think it's someone trying to make a problem where it doesn't exist. Apparently people were saying because now that the show was in HD, that having a gender bent Ranger like that is going to be a little more obvious than it was when the show was in SD, right? Not really. I mean, a small stature, I think Green, the suit actor for Green, has like a smaller stature that would more so pass as a female body type. So, I mean, to me, it's not a problem. And then there's also questions about the skirt. I mean, they'll just do it the same as they always have. So last up for Power Rangers news, we have the release of Mighty Morphin issue 1 in comic stores this week. I have not picked it up yet, but I plan to. So, pick it up. Alright, so moving right along into Kamen Rider news, we have word that Toku HD will be streaming Kamen Rider Agito on their platform. So this is coming from Sci-Fi Japan on Twitter. I don't know about any release dates yet. It might be in the article here. But this one has caused quite the controversy in the fandom because Toku is a platform that I'm sure all of us have heard of by this point, but I'm pretty sure none of us are paying for it, right? And we also know that Shout Factory, they released the original series from 71, then also Kuga earlier this year, so we wonder why didn't this just go straight to them? So, why is the series being spread out like this? The answers might lie within how Toei wants to distribute the series. It's questionable, but what can you do about it? I mean, part of me wants to contact Toei directly and just be like, what are you guys doing? You had a good thing going. I mean, hopefully their deal with Shout Factory still stands. Because, I mean, I know they have the 50th anniversary next year and they have plans for that. So hopefully Shout Factory is included with those plans. Fingers crossed. So moving into Sentai news, we have a really surprising bit of information here about this company 7 Seas. Now this is coming from Ranger Wiki on Facebook, and they have announced that 7 Seas Entertainment will begin to release a classic manga collection in hardcover in April 2021 with Goranger as written and drawn by Super Sentai originator Shotaro Ishinomori. the manga will retail for $24.99 US. Now, this came out of nowhere, honestly, because when you look at the cover, you notice that it's using that same format that the Shout Factory DVDs used, with the whole, before Power Rangers, there was Super Sentai, Himitsu Sentai Goranger, the classic manga by Shotaro Ishinomori. It's the same exact format that Shout used for their DVDs, so I kind of wonder what's going on with that. And then also, this says a lot about Hasbro, too, because they had to approve this for this to be released over here. So it says that they recognize that Sentai, well, I mean, of course they know it exists, but like, they recognize that it's a factor that fans are interested in and interested in seeing. So I wonder why, like, they stop with the Shout DVDs but then approve this. Like, it's just really confusing, like, how all of this is planned. Like, I'm hoping that this is a sign that says that they will continue with the DVD releases in the future. So fingers crossed for that as well. So going into Ultraman, we have an article from J Fusion, and this is for Ultraman Z, Keiji Takamine, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, to reprise role as Ultraman Ace. And it reads, it was reported that Japanese actor Keiji Takamine, who portrayed the this is kind of oddly worded, Seiji Hokuto from the Ultraman Ace TV series, will be reprising his role as voice for Ultraman Ace in the 19th episode of Ultraman Z. The sky is shattered like glass. This is a quote, by the way. From the alternate dimension on the other side, a terrible monster, Baraба, has appeared. As Ultraman Z and the others struggle in the face of Baraba's persistent attacks, Ultraman Ace rushes to the scene to help. What is the surprising relationship between Z and Ace? As seen in one of the images above, Z will be using the Beta Smash fusion form, which uses the Ace metal, when he teams up with Ultraman Ace. So I wonder how that might work out. But anyway, that's about it for that. So just be on the lookout for Ace in episode 19 of Z. Can't wait to see him. So next, this isn't really news, but more so a reminder that Shout Factory is now streaming various Ultraman series on their platform, and also Tubi TV, where I think it's more easily accessible. So far from what I've seen, I believe they have Ultra Q, Ultraman, Ultra 7, Ultraman Leo, but that's already kind of been there for a while now. So Ultraman Leo, I believe they have the Jeed movie. I haven't seen Jeed up there yet, but then they also have Orb, the Orb movie, and I think that's about it for right now, unless I'm missing something. I mean, I think there was like one more, but it'll come back to me. But they definitely plan to release more, so just please, like, go to Tubi, just stream Ultraman to your heart's content, get those views up so we can get more. So we have some extra news now, and in a really surprising turn of events, this is from Insomniac Games for the remaster of Spider-Man on the PS5, and we have a glimpse of new skins for Armored Advance Spider-Man, which, I mean, yeah, that's nice and all, but we also have Arachnid Rider, which, I mean, is an obvious reference to Kamen Rider. So, I wonder what brought this on, honestly. Because we see him in this armored up suit. He's got, like, the yellow bug eyes, this crown-like helmet, no belt, surprisingly. Now, I think they missed, like, a perfect opportunity to call this Common Spider. But, I mean, copyright and all, so they probably couldn't. But yeah, that's a nice little Easter egg for any fans that might catch that there. I mean, us, of course, duh. So yeah, I might have to buy a whole new copy of the game for the PS5 just for this. So that's going to just about do it for today. So as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to like my Facebook page at Midwest Tokusatsu. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. And this is your captain, signing out.